If you are enrolled in the IGNOU PGDUPDL Programme, and MEDSP-045 is the one course standing between you and your diploma, this is your complete route map. In the next 28 minutes, you get the IGNOU PGDUPDL project for MEDSP-045. Exactly as the School of Extension and Development Studies documents it, along with the 8 things that almost every website still gets wrong. Let us start with the direct answer. MEDSP-045 is project work in the postgraduate diploma in urban planning and development. It is an 8-credit elective, which means you take MEDSP-045 or you take MEDSE-046, never both. You choose an urban topic, you find an eligible supervisor, you post a written project proposal to the school for approval, you run the study using a case study or a survey method, and you submit a report of about 10,000 words that carries 100 marks. Here is the roadmap. Program facts and the credit arithmetic, the elective decision. The 7 official topic tests and 14 urban topic areas, supervisor eligibility and the biodata trap that quietly rejects proposals. The 7-section synopsis, written live, the approval timeline, then the report, the submission route and the marking scheme. First, the program behind the project. Because 2 of the biggest MEDSP-045 mistakes are really program mistakes. PGDUPDL stands for the Postgraduate Diploma in Urban Planning and Development. It carries 32 credits across 6 courses. The minimum duration is 12 months and the maximum is 36 months. The official fee on the IGNOU program page is 8,000 rupees per year, with the examination fee charged separately. Eligibility is graduation in any discipline. The program sits in the School of Extension and Development Studies. PGDUPDL was designed for 2 groups at once: graduates entering urban planning and development and people already working inside it. The official learner group names functionaries of corporations, municipalities and Nagar Panchayats, staff of urban NGOs and private firms, and program and project officers handling urban development. Keep that in mind, because it tells you what kind of MEDSP-045 topic the school expects. PGDUPDL has 6 courses. 4 are compulsory theory courses of 6 credits each, MEDS-041, Introduction to Urban Development, MEDS-042, Issues and Challenges in Urban Planning and Development, MEDS-043, Dynamics of Urban Planning and Development, and MEDS-044, Monitoring and Evaluation of Projects and Programs. Then come the 2 electives of 8 credits each, MEDSP-045, Project Work, and MEDSE-046, Development, Issues and Perspectives. You take one of those 2. Now the first myth, and it comes from an unexpected place. IGNOU's own PGDUPDL webpage currently shows the MEDSP-045 card as theory 6 credits. Dozens of websites have copied that line without checking. But the official MEDSP-045 Project Handbook and the PGDUPDL Programme Guide both say something different. 4 theory courses of 6 credits are compulsory, and you elect a theory course or a project work of 8 credits. Here is the arithmetic that settles it. MEDS-0412, MEDS-044 give you 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6, which is 24 credits. Add the 8-credit elective and you land on exactly 32 credits, which is the stated PGDUPDL program weight. If MEDSP-045 were only 6 credits, the diploma would total 30 and would never close, so 8 is the figure to trust. And it is not a trivia point, because that credit number decides your project evaluation fee slab later in this video. The second myth is about money and structure. A large number of admission pages say PGDUPDL costs 6,000 rupees in total, or 3,000 rupees per semester, and several add a 50% graduation requirement. The official IGNOU Programme page says something else. The fee is 8,000 rupees per year. The duration is 12 to 36 months. Eligibility is graduation in any discipline with no percentage bar. And the medium of instruction is English and Hindi. PGDUPDL has no semesters at all, so any per semester figure is invented. That brings us to the decision that shapes your entire PGDUPDL year. Myth number 3. Project selling websites and older versions of our own page describe MEDSP-045 as the compulsory core project of PGDUPDL. It is not. The IGNOU catalog records the course as MEDSP-045. Project Work, Elective, and the handbook opens with the same sentence. That single word changes everything. If genuine field research is impossible for you this year, MEDSE-046 is a legitimate and fully recognized route to the same diploma. So how do you choose? Take MEDSP-045 if you can physically reach a ward, a municipal office, or a user group, if you want evidence of real field work on your file, and especially if you already work in the urban sector. Take MEDSE-046 if reliable primary data collection is not possible where you are, or if you cannot find an eligible supervisor. Remember that approval alone takes about 6 weeks. If you are already working in a corporation, a municipality, or a Naga Panchayat, the project is usually the stronger choice. Your own office is a legitimate study site. Access to records and respondents is the single hardest part of research, and you already have it. The finished report becomes a portfolio document you can show at a promotion interview. There is no term-end examination date to travel for, and you earn 8 credits on your own timetable. Now plan the calendar honestly because students lose whole sessions here. The handbook expects the proposal early, 30th of April for the January session, 31st of October for the July session. Work backwards. Approval takes 6 weeks, fieldwork and analysis need 8 to 10 weeks, and writing needs another 4. So start topic work in the first 2 months of your diploma, not after the theory examinations. Next, choosing the topic. This is where most IGNOU PGDUPDL projects are won or lost. The handbook gives 7 tests and every one of them is a filter. Is the topic suitable for a student project? Is it clearly relevant to urban planning and development? Do you actually have the time? Is data collection feasible inside that time? What challenges will data collection bring and how will you meet them? What will it cost? And finally, do you have the communication facilities and the local language? Ignore that last test and your interview schedule collapses on day 1. Here is a rule that saves months. A PGDUPDL project usually fails because the title is too wide. Urban development in my city cannot be completed by one learner in one session. Narrow the topic on 3 axes. 1 urban service. 1 defined area such as a single ward or a single zone. And 1 clear research question. Once those 3 are fixed, everything downstream becomes manageable. Sampling, tools, analysis, even your page count. Rather than repeating the generic lists you have already seen, build your topic from what a municipal body actually does. Water supply, waste collection, drainage, street lighting, city bus services, parks and open spaces, build-in plan sanction, property tax, e-governance, vending zones, slum upgradation, urban health centers, ward participation and green cover. 14 live areas, each of them narrow enough to finish. The handbook's own Annexure 1 list sits alongside these, and our IGNOU MEDSP video walks through that list in detail. Let us lock a worked example and carry it through the rest of this video. The title is A Survey of Street Lighting Coverage and Nighttime Mobility of Women Workers in One Ward of a Municipal Corporation, One Service, Street Lighting, One Area, a Single Ward. One question: does lighting coverage change how women workers move after dark? From here on, every section we write is written against this exact title. Now test that title against the 7 checks. Suitable and relevant because street lighting is a core municipal function under urban infrastructure. Feasible because a ward-level sample of 100 to 120 respondents is realistic in about 8 weeks. Low cost because no paid data source is needed, and the language test is cleared because you interview in the local language of your own ward. It passes all 7 tests without stretching a single one. Now the supervisor, which is where most IGNOU PGDUPDL proposals are actually rejected. The handbook lists 5 categories. Faculty at IGNOU headquarters in the School of Extension and Development Studies, academic counselors of PGDUPDL or of the Extension and Development Studies programs, teachers and researchers in urban planning and development, anyone with a PhD in urban development, development studies, economics, sociology, public administration, political science or extension education, or a master's or MPhil holder in those disciplines with 2 years of experience. And note the last line. The school may still decline your proposed supervisor. Read that list again because it is far wider than students assume. Your guide does not need an urban planning degree. A sociology PhD qualifies. An economics PhD qualifies. A public administration PhD qualifies. A master's holder with 2 years of relevant experience qualifies, so the college lecturer you already know, or a senior officer in your own department, may well be eligible to guide your IGNOU PGDUPDL project. Check the list before you decide that no guide is available in your town. Myth number 4, and this one silently costs students an entire session. Students assume that if the guide is already an IGNOU academic counselor, the university has their record on file and no biodata is needed. The approval pro forma answers that in bold print. If the complete and signed biodata of the supervisor, even if the proposed supervisor is an academic counselor of IGNOU's own PGDUPDL program, is not enclosed, the proposal will not be entertained. So build the biodata properly. Date of birth, full office address, full residential address, contact telephone numbers, academic qualifications with year of passing, work experience with designation and name of the organization. And if your guide is an academic counselor, state clearly which courses they counsel and since when, along with the name and code of the study center they are attached to. Every page must carry the supervisor's signature. 2 more rules. If the school does not accept your supervisor, or if you decide to change guides yourself, the entire proposal goes in again on a new pro forma signed by the new supervisor. It is treated as a brand new proposal, not a correction. And contrary to what several websites say, your regional center has no role in this at all. Finally, the university pays your supervisor a token honorarium of 300 rupees claimed on Annexure 4 after the report is submitted. Now the IGNOU PGDUPDL Synopsis, which the handbook calls the project proposal. The handbook prescribes exactly 7 sections, and nothing else is required. Title: Introduction. Objectives: Problem statement. Research methodology, and the handbook specifies what that must contain, namely locale, sampling, instruments, and the statistical tools you will use, then limitations if any, and references, Websites that ask you to add an expected output section or a fixed 10 to 15 page length are adding requirements IGNOU never printed. Let us write it against our example. The introduction opens with the service and the city context, how many ward lights the corporation maintains, what the complaint pattern looks like, and why street lighting is treated as an urban safety input rather than decoration. Then the problem statement names the gap in a single sentence. Ward-level data on whether lighting coverage actually changes the nighttime movement of women workers is not collected by the corporation. So lighting budgets are allocated without any usage evidence. Objectives come next, and this is the most marked section in the whole project. Keep them to 3 or 4 and make every one of them measurable. 1. To map functional and non-functional streetlights in the selected ward. 2. To assess nighttime travel patterns of women workers in that ward. 3. To examine the association between lighting coverage and reported route avoidance. 4. To suggest ward-level measures. Notice that these objectives carry marks twice, once in the proposal and again in the opening chapter of the report. Methodology is where the handbook is unusually specific, because it names 4 things: locale, sampling, instruments, and statistical tools. So write all 4. Locale, one named ward of a municipal corporation, with its boundary and population stated. Sampling, 110 women workers selected by systematic random sampling from 3 lanes in each lighting density band. Instruments, a structured interview schedule plus a physical lighting point observation sheet. And statistical tools, frequency, percentage, mean, and chi-square. Miss any one of the 4 and you lose methodology marks before you begin. So where does it go? The proposal is posted to the coordinator, PGDUPDL, School of Extension and Development Studies, IGNOU, Maidangarhi, New Delhi 1, 10068. Write MEDSP-045 prominently on the envelope. Send 1 copy only and retain a copy with you. Inside the envelope you enclose 3 things: the proforma for approval of the project proposal, duly filled and signed by both you and your supervisor, the detailed biodata of the supervisor, signed, and the project proposal itself. Myth number 5, and it is a common one. Several guidance sites tell PGDUPDL students to submit the proposal at their study center or at a program study center. The handbook names the school at IGNOU headquarters, not a center. And there is a second half to this myth. Do not upload your synopsis on the online project submission portal. That portal's own instruction is explicit. Synopsis and assignment uploads are rejected. The portal exists for the finished report only. So the envelope is posted. What happens next? The handbook advises January session learners to submit the proposal by the 30th of April and July session learners by the 31st of October, so that approval and completion happen on time. If you miss those dates, you are not blocked. Proposals can be submitted throughout the year. A written communication regarding approval or non-approval is sent within 6 weeks of the proposal reaching the school, by email and by post, and a project proposal number is allotted. If the proposal comes back unapproved, do not panic and do not start again from 0. The comments and suggestions for reformulating the project are communicated to you. Read them carefully and reformulate as advised. Then send back 4 things together. The revised proposal, a revised project proposal pro forma, a copy of the rejected proposal bearing the evaluator's comments, and the project proposal number already allotted to you. Quoting that number is what links the 2 submissions in the school's records. Here is the rule students break most often. Do not collect data before you have written approval. Approval is not a formality. It is the school's confirmation that your topic, your method, and your supervisor are all acceptable. Learners who start fieldwork early routinely have to rerun their interviews after the school narrows the topic. So wait for the written communication and then go to the field. And use those 6 weeks well by building your interview schedule and your literature review. 3 avoidable rejections account for most of the delays. An unsigned pro forma, because it needs both signatures, yours and your supervisor's, each dated, missing biodata, which is the single most common reason and means the proposal is not entertained at all. And a topic that is too wide, because city-level or state-level titles are sent back for narrowing almost every time. Fix these 3 before you seal the envelope. Approval in hand, you now write the report itself. The handbook prints the report order, and following it exactly is free marks. Title page with title, name, address, enrollment number and year, certificate of originality, acknowledgement, table of contents. Introduction, covering problem, objectives and rationale, review of the literature, methodology, results and discussion in tables and graphs. Conclusion, limitations, suggestions for further work, references in APA style, and then the appendices. The specifications are precise. The report should run to about 40 to 50 typed pages and should not exceed roughly 10,000 words, excluding appendices and exhibits, with a 10% variation permitted on either side. It is submitted on A4 size paper, 29 by 20 centimeters, typed in 1.5 spacing, as a bound volume. For page setup, margins, numbering and binding in full detail, our IGNOU project format video covers that standard across programs. Myth number 6, and it catches Hindi medium learners badly. The PGDUPDL medium of instruction really is English and Hindi, and several sites therefore tell learners they may write the project in Hindi. The handbook's instruction is a single unambiguous line. The language to be followed for the project work should be in English, so a Hindi medium PGDUPDL learner still submits an English project report. Plan your writing time accordingly. One detail separates a PGDUPDL report from every other IGNOU report. Annexure 3, the Certificate of Originality, declares that the project is your own work and is submitted in partial fulfillment for the award of the Postgraduate Diploma in Urban Planning and Development, and has not been submitted earlier anywhere else. It carries 2 signatures, yours and your supervisor's, with place and date. Copying a master's worded certificate here is an easy and avoidable error. The appendices are not optional decoration. The handbook lists what must be attached, the interview schedule or questionnaire you actually used, a copy of the approved pro forma, a copy of the approved proposal, your supervisor's biodata, add observation sheets or field formats if you used any, and your supervisor may send the guidance remuneration bill on Annexure 4. Before we move on, one strategic point about writing. Results and discussion alone carries 40 of the 100 marks, which is more than the introduction and the literature review put together, so write it like it is worth 40. Present every objective as its own table or chart. Interpret each one in words beneath it. And connect the finding back to what earlier studies reported. A report that stops at raw tables loses most of the heaviest section in the entire scheme. Now submission. And this is the part where the handbook and current practice no longer agree. Myth number 7, and it is the most consequential one in this video. The 2013 handbook says to post 1 typed bound copy to the registrar, Student Evaluation Division, and many websites still repeat that as the only route. For current sessions, IGNOU accepts project reports through its online project submission portal as one complete PDF file, with the evaluation fee paid on the term end examination form. Emailed reports are not considered. Because the mode has shifted between sessions, confirm it on your own session notification before you upload. Here are the essentials. The project evaluation fee is 300 rupees up to 4 credits and 500 rupees above 4 credits. MEDSP-045 is an 8-credit course, so your slab is the higher one. That fee is paid with your term end examination form, and the receipt goes with the report. The report must be one single complete PDF file. On receipt, a project report number is allotted, and you quote it in every later query. If your session notification asks for a hard copy as well, this is the address and the label the handbook prescribes. One typed copy to the Registrar, Student Evaluation Division, IGNOU, Maidan Garhi, New Delhi 10068, sent by registered or speed post in a bound volume, and write Project Report -PGDUPDL on the top of the envelope. That label is what lets the division sort your report to the right program. Keep a copy for yourself, because the report is never returned. Timing matters more than students expect. A report submitted between the 1st of December and the 31st of May is declared with the June term end examination results. A report submitted between the 1st of June and the 30th of November is declared with the December results. So a report uploaded in early June waits for the December cycle. If you are anywhere near that boundary, submit before it. A few days can cost you 6 months of waiting. Finally, how the IGNOU PGDUPDL project is evaluated. The official evaluation scheme divides 100 marks across 5 heads. Introduction. With objectives and rationale carries 15. Review of the literature carries 15. Methodology carries 20. Results and discussion carries 40. And conclusions carry 10. For successful completion, you must secure a minimum of 40% in the project work. The external examiner is selected by the Student Evaluation Division from a list approved by the school. And myth number 8. Coaching pages advertise mock Viva sessions and oral defense preparation for MEDSP-045. The official evaluation scheme has no Viva line at all. All 100 marks are awarded by one external examiner reading your written report. Nobody will be there to explain your work, defend your sample size, or clarify a confusing table. Every mark has to be earned on the page, which is exactly why structure, clean tables, and honest interpretation matter so much in this course. So is the IGNOU PGDUPDL project worth doing? The honest answer has 2 sides. You earn 8 credits without an examination hall. You produce primary field evidence you can show at an interview, and the work is directly relevant if you already serve in a municipal body. Against that, budget 6 weeks of waiting for approval, 8 to 10 weeks of field work, an eligible supervisor, and the discipline to write 10,000 words. On career and scope, it is worth quoting IGNOU carefully rather than inventing numbers. The university states that PGDUPDL holders are equipped to serve government bodies and non-government organizations in urban planning and development, and that fresh graduates become suitable candidates for grassroots, supervisory, and middle-level positions in the sector. For in-service learners, it strengthens standing for higher roles. No salary or placement is promised anywhere, so treat any site that promises one with caution. If you want to go deeper on any single step, the channel has a dedicated video for it. Our IGNOU MAUS project video covers the same course inside the master's route and walks through the handbook's own 30-topic list. The IGNOU project format video covers page setup, margins, certificates, and binding. The Synopsis guide covers proposal writing across programs. Topic selection covers narrowing and testing a title. And the project submission video covers the portal, the fee and status checks in full. Here is the recap. MEDSP-045 is an 8-credit elective, so you take it or you take MEDSE-046, case study or survey only. A 7-section proposal posted to the coordinator, PGDUPDL at the school. Approval in about 6 weeks. A report of 40 to 50 pages in English. 100 marks, 40% to pass, and no Viva. For free guidance and samples, visit IGNOUProject.com or message us on WhatsApp. Always confirm current rules on the IGNOU website and Samarth before you submit. This has been BK Sahni, guiding IGNOU students since 2010. Subscribe for the next program guide.